And that's when I started reading about this stuff of oceanography in space. Really? People are going to be doing that? And then it's like, well,
It's
who
gonna
are the
be really
oceanographers?
steep,
And
yeah.
it's like the deeper I dug, there were no oceanographers involved.
Of
And it's
course
like,
not.
wait, you're going to spend thousands of millions of dollars to go and study oceans in space.
Yeah.
And,
Then we'll head down.
yeah, why isn't there, humanity has a couple of 100 years of like Western kind of thought and thousands of years of, when you think
Ocean
here amongst
exploration
the islands here, like, the navigators of Samoa and American Samoa, it's like, there's like, humanity has like deep, deep knowledge of oceans.
And to not use that to go into
so
space.
it's like, yeah. So it was like, I just worked out, I wonder how I could get involved with that. And then it turned out when I got back, it was
400?
October 2015. I found out that, in fact, Bob Ballard was one of the people who was at a meeting. He hosted it at the National Geographic Society. So he is a National Geographic explorer, and a guy who's become a close friend of mine, Kevin Hand, was a National Geographic Young Explorer.
Okay.
Who was at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and so they put together a meeting about ocean worlds,
390.
which at the time was 45 planetary scientists, 15 representing each of their favorite ocean worlds, and I think half a dozen oceanographers of people who would actually show up and actually fly to DC just to work out what on earth anyone was talking about. And it just kind of blossomed from there of, we were able to make exactly the point I was just saying. It was like, if you think 6 of us here can represent everything humanity knows about oceanography, you need a better address book. You need to know some people. And the people responded as like, well, can you share your address book? Who do you know, and how do we get the right people involved? So it's kind of grown from there over the last 10 years. It's become I remember going back to my director of research at Woods Hole, almost apologetic of like, okay, you're probably not going to, you're going to wonder what I was like, what I was up to when I was in Germany, what's happened to my brain. But I think there's this legitimate new field of research that we could get involved with as an oceanographic community.
Were they supportive?
They really were. Yeah, it was fantastic. It was very like, cool. He'd said, that's really good. Here, take a month of time, go write up some of your thinking, let us know about that. And then I was very fortunate that the trustees at Woods Hole at the time were just spinning up a thing called a Catalyst project, and it was like, what are whole new things that people haven't done before? What could be some areas? And it was like an open call. Anyone in the institution could write stuff. So I had the chance to write that, and did it with a guy who was the head of our Center for Marine Robotics at the same time. Because he said, like, this isn't just intellectually the science of oceans and how can you use that to inform how oceans might work somewhere else. But there's also, if you're a, engineer, you know how to make stuff work in the cold vacuum of space.
Okay, it looks like we got...
Trying to make stuff work under pressure with salt water and electronics.
Sort of.
There's not many people do anything that crazy, right?
So
okay, so you want to work with electronics. Do you want to stick it in salt water? No. It's like, well, that's what we do. So again, it was like there's a whole rich area for the technology as well. So.
And so the purpose of this mission is to go check out other oceans in space, basically, right?
It's one specific one. So there has been each of the previous decades, so during the 2000s, there was a mission called Galileo that was checking out all the different moons of Jupiter. And then in the 2010s, there was another mission called Cassini that was checking out all the different moons around Saturn.
What's up?
And both of them were actually looking at the planet itself and its big moons that are like the size of Earth's moon. And in each of those 2 expeditions, they found one or more of the moons had an icy shell, but they have evidence that they've got liquid water oceans underneath the ice shell. So, yeah, I think everyone had always known they had a smooth... They knew that the outside shell was smooth and water ice. Nobody actually had predicted that there was going to be liquid water under that ice.
Right.
So then it's like, didn't see that coming. And that's really just been since...
But that's also a guess.
I think in 2001 was like the first time anyone thought that might be possible anywhere in the outer solar system. And now, like 20 years later, there's 20 candidate moons of like, well, if that one can happen, then this one can have it. So there's, let's see, there's 3 confirmed moons of Jupiter, all about the size of ours, that have liquid water oceans. There's at least one in Saturn system. There's now, NASA's been thinking about sending another mission in the future to Uranus, because they've got
What's up?
four moons that could also have oceans in them.
Starting to get some what?
There's also
Names?
Neptune has Triton,
Okay.
which people have gone back and looked at. The only images they have is from the Voyager expedition in the 1970s, and now they've seen what we've been doing in the since like in the 2010s,
Temperatures coming
2020s. They can sit and go like, oh, with 2020 hindsight, that's probably water that's jetting
Yeah.
out of the surface of
Yeah.
Neptune's moon Triton. So it's like
No,
it's
not in
everywhere,
this
apparently in the
case.
outer solar system. And the other thing that's been happening is that since that first work was done, you know, that's like early 1970s, some of that data for the moons of Uranus and Neptune, we didn't even know there was a hydrothermal system anywhere on our planet. So,
Oh, right.
so
Yeah,
we've got
that's
this
right.
great combination now of people have always thought if you want to have life, then you have to have liquid water oceans at the surface with enough sunlight to drive photosynthesis. So a generation later, it's like, yeah, that's not the only way you can have life. And then suddenly it's like, oh, and so that's not the only place where you could potentially have life, even in our own solar system. It may well be that we've flown past, or robots that humanity have sent out
Yeah.
have already flown past these places. So that's the new mission now, is to actually go back to Jupiter, but instead of trying to look at everything, it's now saying, okay, specifically, let's go look at this moon Europa, because it may well have all the conditions for, you know, maybe not the corals we were looking at last night, but all
Right.
that other stuff
Lots
we
of
found, like the
microbes and-
microbial life,
Yeah,
those low temperatures, those kinds of pressures. That's the kind of stuff that's sitting, you know, we know all those things. We know there's saltwater rocks at those kinds of pressures,
Uh-huh.
and perfectly feasible to sustain those low temperatures. You know, it's not like you need hundreds of degrees Celsius like a black smoker.
yeah. Right.
Those microbial things
That
were
was
happy.
at
You only have to be
6 to
1
7
degree.
degrees,
Yeah,
12 degrees,
exactly.
yeah.
Just a little bit above ambient. It doesn't take much heat to be able to drive some chemicals to drive life. So
Oh,
that's the plan, is to do I think it's something like 60 flypasts around the surface of Europa, checking out where they can see like cracks where water may have poured out onto the surface, and thinking about where they might be able to identify places that could be good landing spots in the future.
Okay.
So trying to work out the characteristics for habitability, seeing if they can actually, you know, the more they can learn about what might be happening, but also think about, okay, well then if there was ocean with microbial life in it, and the ocean has spilled out onto the surface, where might be good places to land as well. So it's also doing it's a bit like when we come here and we do ship's multi-beam, and then we do
Right.
AUV mapping, and then we do chemical
And then
sniffing, and then we
orbit.
choose where to land. And so it's that same nested strategy. Again, it's stuff that's really shared experience between the two communities.
Oh, it's a fascinating project too. I mean, the potential results from it are
Yeah.
massive.
Yeah, I mean, it's like somebody, I think I was trying to explain that somewhere, of like, when you're trying to plan what are you going to do with your career, right? I did not at 21 say, I'm going to spend all my life working out how I can be at the forefront of searching for life in space.
Yeah.
That's just
Oh, no.
I did not see
Who
that
would?
come in until 10 years ago. It was like, I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah, it's like a
And
science
then it was
fiction
like,
novel.
oh wait, that's a thing that people can do. Then it's like I've like accidentally stumbled into this. So you use robots to go and find like hydrothermal flow at the bottom of the oceans where weird organisms live.
Right.
Yeah, and like my biology education ended at high school,
Yeah.
right? And it's like I don't know what it is when as we've shown on this cruise, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is when we get there. That's where Megan steps in as a biologist and starts telling me about the biology. But I know how to find
Right.
interesting places that other people can step in and I can pass the baton. So
Yeah. Well, you find out where the life could be, and then
yeah,
the other people
but it's
take up.
yeah.
So that's going to be a really exciting project. I can't wait to see what happens.
Well, I'm afraid you're going to have to, because
Yeah, it's going to be a
that's the thing. It's a
quite
long
a
way
few
to get
years
there.
out,
It's
yeah.
like, yeah, we only had a few hours before we got on station when we sailed out of Pago Pago. But this one they launch in October of this year.
Uh-huh.
It's then takes 6 years to get to Europa.
Wow. 6
So in
years.
2030 they arrive, but then they're going so fast they basically have to use the gravity of Jupiter is basically their brake pedal.
Okay.
So then they start slowing down.
Wow.
And so So for the first year, all they're doing is just using the gravity of Jupiter to pull them in and slow them down.
Okay.
And then 2031, they'll actually be going slow enough that they can actually start flying past
All right.
the moon of Europa and turning the sensors on and actually collecting the data. Because if you imagine if you had like big rocket boosters on the back of Sentry, it was like it'd be going so fast you couldn't actually make the measurements.
Right. Yeah.
You'd be like past the seamount you cared about faster than you.
Before you could turn the equipment on.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, so yeah, that'll be me in my one of those really nice comfy chairs they've got up on the top of the ship. Gonna get myself a ship like get one of those. I'll be turning around, facing it into the sun, sitting on my porch, eating breakfast on my belly, and watching the results come in.
Yeah.
That's my retirement plan. Is like
basically a sea otter.
and I'm just gonna be. I'll have to have like two different. Maybe I'll have to get like two of those by then. Maybe it'll be like an Adirondack chair with two little screens in my, and I can just flip channel of like what's happening on Europa today and like what's happening on Nautilus Live.
This sounds wonderful.
Just sit there and switch channels.
With your favorite rock in your armpit.
Yeah. No, just breakfast on my belly will be fine. Whatever it is, whatever it is, it's gonna happen.
At least.
I will probably be sitting out on the porch surrounded by the favorite rocks that Romy's finally said we're getting them out of the house now.
Yeah.
It's
They'll
like,
be out on the
they're not
porches
coming
and
in,
stuff.
they're
Yeah.
rocks. And I was like, but they'll get cold. They'll get wet.
Yeah.
They came from the
We'll have to
ocean.
build them a kennel.
Yeah.
Oh no, my rocks come from all over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some are
I
like
try and
rescue rocks.
I embrace diversity. I have continental rocks.
Oh, good, good.
I have a really good granite collection, actually.
Do the continental rocks get along with the deep sea rocks?
No,
No.
you never find them. You never find them in the same place.
You have to,
It's like-
keep them separated.
Actually, I guess the only place. Well, yeah. I mean, you can get oceanic rocks on land.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard to find. Like, I really like granites. Like kind of like different kinds of granite with different impurities, and you get like different shades of like white ones, pink ones.
Yeah. But it's hard to
The
find
ones on the
those in
the ones on the coast of along the coast of Maine are really good, and they actually have their conjugate in the Lake District in northern England
start to
called
see
Shap
stuff.
granite, and it's
Oh,
one
really?
that is a lot of potassium feldspars, and it gives it a pinkish hue.
I think you're right.
So it's a really really pretty.
They
But I've got some from
see that
as-
countertops.
yeah, and then I have.
And it's going to be behind.
I have some really cool stuff
Yeah.
called tonalite, which came from the Italian Alps where I did my undergraduate honors project.
So are we.
Oh,
And
okay.
they
So
only
anything
have
larger than us.
one of two. It's a very calcium-rich system, so they have just one kind of feldspar in them. So they're just like really, really bright white. They're like the polar
Oh,
bear of
cool.
granites. They still got the dark
Polar
micas and
bear
things in them.
granites.
And then, yeah, I have a really cool rock from when I was a first-year grad student called a pseudotacholite, where it's actually got the frozen glass from an earthquake fault zone in Greece.
Uh-huh.
We got to go somewhere, and it's like the rock is all kind of altered, but there's just like this vein coming through it, which is where it was like liquefied, just from the friction
Oh,
of like
wow.
a magnitude 8 or magnitude
Really?
7 or magnitude 8 earthquake. Yeah, I know all my rocks by hand. It's
Yeah.
like, Romy's like, well, what about this one? It's like, no, there's a story. Like, each one of them has a story, and it's
Yep,
like, if
can't
I
get
ever
rid of
forget
any
the
of them.
story, then it's like, okay, that one can go.
Yeah.
That can go in the rockery instead, and we'll put some nice plants around it. But yeah, it's where rocks, it's where rocks where the owner can no longer remember their name or their story. They just go and rest. It's like,
It's like
yeah.
a rookery.
Yeah, that's good. It's really good.
I feel like that reminds me of a bunch of TikToks that I've seen where people like guess their like 12 dogs by just feel, like they're blindfolded and they have to name all the dogs correctly. I feel like Chris could probably do that with your rocks. Well,
The
blindfold
one
you.
that's going to stay longest is the one that even Romy's going to remember, because I got in so much trouble on our honeymoon that the person that saved me from being a chemical engineer and working in an oil refinery is a guy, Steve Sparks, who works on explosive volcanism. So he works on sub-aerial stuff. He works on like the islands on land when there's volcanoes, like in the Caribbean and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And so he'd had this thing where he'd actually found. So this goes back to like, do these rocks get on well together?
Do they
He'd
get-
actually spotted this thing in Scotland from when the Atlantic started opening called mixed magma. So it's this idea that
Like we're starting to see the
different
bottom in
rocks
Avalon
freeze
now.
at different
Yeah, I think
times.
so.
So he'd found this stuff that had smooth-grained basalt
80 meters
inside beautifully crystalline
out. I got 3 leaves.
granite.
Oh.
And then he'd explained, well,
Altitude
there
is
was a
somewhere
granite,
between
there was like a
14
liquid
and,
granite magma chamber.
30.
So it was above 700 degrees because
So
it would
I'm
have
gonna
frozen if it was cooler than that.
Just
But at, like, say 900 degrees, then
try and
some
deal with
basalt
that.
melt had been squirted
30
into
is
it.
what we expected, so...
And
Oh, wow.
and so the
30
granite was like,
right.
oh, that's 200 degrees hotter than my melting point.
Uh-huh.
But for the basalt, it's like, this lava, this hot lava is 200 degrees below my freezing point.
Yeah, okay.
So it
Oh.
really was like, so you have this fossilized lava lamp of this like shiny black basalt like we have down here with this beautiful, and it's set in a matrix of this beautiful crystalline granite. And he'd found this on northwest Scotland, and on our honeymoon, we were in Maine, working up the coast of Maine. And I suddenly realized, oh, this is the other side of the Atlantic. And then we actually found this thing. So I was just out walking along the beach. But it's like, you know, then there was this whole outcrop of like this like stuff that was like 30 feet high of like looking like a frozen lava lamp of like
Like the
dark
same-
black rock in this beautiful white crystalline stuff. And it's
Yeah.
like, I need to get a photo of this, but I can't. I need a scale. So that was it. So I like went and got Romy, who was sitting on the beach, said like, can I take you, could you come and get in this picture? And she was like, oh, isn't that sweet? It's like, he wants to take my picture in a beautiful place. And then I was like, no, can you just step a little bit
Okay.
to the left?
Yeah,
And she was like, right.
blocking
And she
the
said
rock.
like, and she's like, are you sure? Like, you seem like you're pointing off in a different direction. I said, yeah, I just need you in the corner of the picture. And I was like, the what now?
Right. Yeah, don't stand in front of the rock.
So I have,
That's-
I do
Yeah, it
have
could be
two
very steep here.
beautiful
Yeah.
pieces of rock that I brought
I
home
like
from
the-
that.
I
And
like
one
the
was like a
concept
big three-dimensional thing you can
for
see.
approaching what we're about to
But then
approach.
there was another was just like I found a flat pebble on the seafloor, and it's got like just the two things, and it's like the perfect doorstop. It slides smoothly over any surface. Everywhere I've worked, this is since, when was that? 1989.
Oh,
So
wow.
35 years later, wherever I've worked on the planet, whatever continent I've been on, that's followed me around, and that's always been in
That's
my
your
office. That's
doorstop?
my doorstop when I come into work in the morning. I have this rock. It's not going to wear out, right? It's
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. So that was
and then Romy comes to the office and goes like, "Oh, you see, you still got that rock."
It's just dreading the time when it comes back to the house.
Someone just wrote in, that sounds like some coal rocks.
Yeah. So that was the
Rocks are
same-
my friends. They don't answer back.
And you found the same features on both sides of the Atlantic,
Yeah,
basically across from each other.
yeah, because it was, I think, 100 million years ago that the Atlantic started unzipping from the south, and it worked its way north. And about the North Atlantic was about 60 million years ago, something like that. It was when it started separating. But it turns out that it had actually collided before.
Okay.
So in fact, the tallest mountains in Wales and Scotland,
think we're
they're all
Yeah,
volcanic
yeah,
systems.
there it
I'm-
is.
They actually
I'm
date
not
from when
automatically going down
what
anymore. I'm
a previous version of North America and a previous version of Europe collided together.
Looks like you're pretty.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still.
But
30
then when they
meters
pulled
up.
apart, some of that stuff got left behind.
So
On each side of the rift.
And in fact, the whole reason that the UK is an island separate from the rest of Europe was it was kind of 50-50 which way the Atlantic was going to split open or which side.
Ah, okay. So UK could have been part of the US.
Could have been part of Newfoundland. Yeah, it's actually worse. Yeah, it would have been. I could have been a Newfa.
Yeah. Now we see the bottom again.
Oh, and that was enough storytelling us to get us back to the seafloor.
Got a question. Are you looking forward to going to Baker Island? No one in here is going on that leg, yeah?
Oh, I would like to, but
I know. But I think the ladies in the front are going to Palau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Baker Island where people are stopping off in between? Is that the next leg that's doing mapping?
Yeah, that's the mapping leg.
Is Rennie on for that, maybe?
No.
No.
shocking.
Is it-
Rennie
is
is
it-
getting off the boat.
Is it a complete switch out?
Yeah, I
Of
think
people?
we'll switch out of people. So we're gonna hot swap at the airport.
Mm.
Megan, when really? will,
Well, because there's only that one plate.
Yeah, no kidding.
Unless they're flying in on Monday.
I think they're flying in Monday.
Oh, okay.
So they'll already
Some
be
sort
here
of
before we
backing down event to get closer.
Yeah.
Well,
before
that'll
we
be
get into
nice
port.
for the crew to be able to get some personal space and time to reset the ship.
Got a question that just came in. What's the name of that basaltic granite mix?
It's just called mixed magma,
Mixed magma.
which even sounds good.
It does. Mixed magma.
Yeah.
It's like something you'd have in the morning with your coffee.
Yeah.
And you can throw on auto head for now because I'm going to start giving you slack. And then when I'm closer, you can turn around.
Okay, this is nice. It's coming down to the seafloor at about 400 meters.
That was my goal.
A shame to leave behind all
Nicely
those
done.
mesopelagic corals.
I know, they were really pretty,
They were so pretty.
but the ROV likes to go deep.
And we're back at a healthy temperature of 12 degrees Celsius, which is still hot by my standards, but then 3,000 meters is still shallow by my standards. So what do I know?
Well, it was like warmer in the water than it is in here, where we were. So I'm
It
not
still
surprised.
is, isn't it? 12 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. It's still warmer than
It's a warm day in Yorkshire.
I feel like this fan's temperature is somehow on a different scale. It says it's 18, and I don't believe it at all.
Is that the temperature probe?
Yeah. Minus 20. Is that a
You think you can come around now?
very steep wall we've descended onto, or are we
Oh,
looking
yeah.
down?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
It's super steep.
All right.
all the way steep.
Yeah, this whole Geo is steep wall.
Gabby brought her climbing gear again.
Yep.
Yeah, we got crampons. We got ice axes.
Got a hard hat, Gabby?
Yeah.
Chris and I might have something to say about that.
Mary, there's a huge spike in your CO2 over here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's probably just a depth effect, but I'll
Is
come
that
have
like
a look.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like
Look at
the
all
same way
these
it
fish.
plummeted at the start of the...
Yeah, it's like
I think they're myctophids. Lantern fishes.
A slightly less excited electron, reverting back to a lower shell.
Oh my god.
Mary launched herself into the chair there.
Still doing particle physics.
Oh, 1300.
Okay. We're kind of arranged ourselves here.
Sweet.
And you want to go 047?
047.
Okay, I can do 047.
Great.
I'm set at 047. Is Atalanta set at 047?
Looks like.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah, let's put in our first move.
Yeah, so this CO2 peak looks to me like
Great,
it's just
Sam.
water column structure, and we have deeper CO2 at
Video,
deeper,
I'm gonna come a
sorry,
little
greater
closer
CO2
so
at deeper
the
depths.
iris can come down.
Yeah, actually, for whatever reason, auto iris does not want to come off right now.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I
Do you
am
think that's
fussing
like a
around with it as we
respiration?
speak. So I will let you know what's happening.
Organic
Okay,
matters
if we need to
Yeah.
signal the
burning and
HD,
consuming
we
oxygen
will.
and...
I
That
actually
would
don't know why
most probably
at
be
this
likely.
depth specifically.
I will let
I
you
think
know
I
in
need
like
to
the
look
next
into some
couple
of the
minutes.
upper water
Okay,
column.
sounds good.
There is in general some slightly
Yeah, I guess we can.
unusual water
really
column
partial to the
structure
old
in the
style,
CO2
but,
here.
Mm.
But in these shallower
let's
dives
do
we've
it.
been
And
noticing.
it'll be more dramatic.
I guess you may just be
Um,
interleaving of different water masses at
yeah.
different depths, and
But we
I
had
need
the
to change
same
with the
from the
times.
beginning of the dive.
Get
yeah,
stuck in my ways.
you got the same time history, so it'll be interesting to see if we can
Oh, it's
repeat it
better.
again
Video?
as we go
Yeah,
back
for
up
whatever
slope.
reason, it's like auto irising and then letting me manually. You know what? We'll just see how it is. I think
Okay.
it's okay if I just like manhandle the knob. It will be fine.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, it usually likes that better for some reason. At least that's what my experience has been.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Where the autos are, they get a little weird, and then you have to do everything manually.
Yeah, because usually it's manual, and then I set it for auto iris while we were descending, but then the light just doesn't want to come off, and it's like adjusting while I'm also adjusting, but I think it should be fine for now.
Okay.
I'm watching it on my end, so we shall see.
I was just noticing that lower was zoomed all the way in, because if you zoom out, it just has
Oh, the porch.
somebody's joined the
Bring the porch in.
somebody's joined the Weight Watchers. Literally, watching the weights.
Oh my gosh.
There we go. It's pretty stark, isn't it? The scenery here.
And what's your speed right now?
0.3.
Great.
So I think I'm going to stop pumps 12 and 13 here so that we have one data set just from the water column. And I'm then going to have a quick look through the notes of what they took earlier to see we've only got 2 pumps left. So I'm not sure if we want to start it here or save it to a different site. So I'll have a look at what they've sampled already.
Okay. So is that stop at 1324?
That is correct, 1324.
Okay. And that'll be for 27 meters.
Yeah, 426, 47.
And what was the volume for number 12?
12 is 134491.
Ooh, urchin.
Okay.
Urchin, yeah.
And
Cool.
for 13?
Probably something like
135.
micropyga.
490.
Go for zoom.
Go for
Okay,
zoom.
great, thank you.
So, what I was going to suggest, Mary, is it only took us about 45 minutes to do this whole thing from heading south and then getting across and setting up for a new transect. So
Okay,
there'll
go
be
on.
more than enough time to do that again, extending across into the next watch as well. So one
Oh,
option
yeah.
might be for us to hold off on doing any more pumps here and let Santiago and Annette choose how they'd like to use their last pair when they come on watch in about an hour or so.
Yeah, we could do that.
I suspect we might get up to the same shallow depths again within the lifetime of this watch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
I
shouldn't
think
take too long.
And then they
I'll
would have
just
time
double
to do
check
the
they
zoom
have
cycle.
data from this depth already.
Okay.
Because if for some reason that was passed through really fast, then they might want to value this depth.
Yeah.
But I'll just have a quick look at what
Yeah.
the depths they took already were.
I think I know that they spent a lot of time like perched against the wall around 200 meters.
Yeah.
So they were probably stationary there. I think that's where the first place where they saw corals.
So it looks like they did take. Wait. So it looks like they accidentally missed this depth completely.
Oh, okay.
So they had 541, and then there was a problem. Something with the button didn't get registered,
So maybe we
and
should.
didn't start until 472. So we have. Oh no, then it was 472 to 240.
Okay, so it wasn't too much of a gap.
No, and this range was incorporated.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
And we're-
leave it until
Yeah, we're only offset by
dive.
about, we're offset by less than a ship's length from where those samples came from. So
Yeah, that's good. It's good to know.
if we start, if we get shallower and we see things that are completely different from what we saw at the start of the watch,
Yeah.
then that would be a good reason to.
Is motor comp pretty consistent now? It's been consistent basically as soon as we got away from the spot we
But
were
they might
sitting
well
and
end up
feeding
doing
the
another
water.
transect in a different direction away from
This is cool.
the
Yeah,
shallow
little cave area.
mound.
Yeah, and we are at
Oh yeah, can we go in that cave, Gabby?
46.
Yeah, absolutely. We can crawl right in there and take a nap.
Yep.
Because then the other
Oh, it's
option
probably
is,
an arch.
if we are spatially so close as where we were at the beginning of the dive,
Mhm.
something what we've done is then when we've re-entered that same sort of geospatial region, restarted the pump that was acquired during that
Try again.
period.
Oh, right.
So
Get
just
more of
top
the
up.
same and just add more. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I could also
yeah,
do
like
that.
by 10
How
As
many
long
liters
as
do
I'm-
they get from that so far?
So what Val had been doing before was hitting 120,000 per bottle.
Yeah.
And all the bottles currently have over 120,000. But
Oh,
that was
okay.
just more of a gauge for
Of just
how
like, that's a
rapidly
minimum
we
you'd
change between
Right.
regions rather than,
So
that's
there's
the
nothing wrong with
maximum.
getting more. The more we can load onto the sample. then-
yeah, pretty much the more the better. I just
especially
don't want
when
to
there's so many
accidentally
species. Right.
mess up a sample by putting in water from the wrong region if I
Right.
misinterpret these notes.
Okay.
So this 7, it just seems like a missed opportunity to have, multiple hours without any sampling
Mm.
during a dive. Yeah, let me come have a quick look at the ship track and see how close we are to these previous bottles.
Yep.
Yeah, can you measure how far away we are?
Yeah, so we are about 40 meters away. Well,
Yeah.
Actually, we're probably similar to what we just ran, actually. The ship is gonna follow that same track.
Can you see the difference between our
The
previous
difference between
It's
our...
just 20 meters away.
Yeah,
Okay.
it looks like 15, 20 meters away from where we were before.
Yeah, it's saying. I think you actually want, it's a different screen. If you look at ROV track, Mary. Okay, I can probably pull it up over here.
We could always scoot over a little bit.
Yeah, we definitely can. In fact, this is probably the place to do it while the incline's still shallow.
Yeah.
So that's where the ROV went before. These are 10-meter grid suits.
Yeah. So I think we have the ROV track on here too, because we've got the red line and the black line.
Yes.
I don't know, what's left behind on the HIPAC survey, is that the ship's previous track line?
Yeah, that's
The
the
memory?
ship's previous track line.
Okay, is any of the lines on this the ROV track line?
The
think
red.
on the-
The red one.
Yeah.
Great.
And on ROV
it
track,
runs-
it's the green.
Oh, Chaunacops, I think.
no, it's not a Chaunacops. I think
What
it's
is
a
it?
scorpionfish.
Ooh,
On
fun. Go for
Megan, on the
go for some.
ROVNav screen,
Yeah.
the green trail, was that Herc's previous trail?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the one to look at. So
And
it's,
on the map
so it's
you're
20
looking
meters.
at, Megan, the map on the screen in front of you, the
Okay,
red
go.
line is a ROV track.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
And on the second screen, that's the left hand of the green tracks, and the right hand green track on that black and white screen, that's where the Herc went before. So
I
we're
think this one
How
is
would
pretty
you guys
parallel.
feel about making
Yeah.
a 30-meter move north?
Let's do it. Let me just get arranged a little bit here.
Okay. That way we're a little bit further away from where we were
so you
before.
can see that
Yeah, that
the
sounds great.
black ship track now is basically going up the same line as the black ship track last time.
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I'll wanna
So we're
change
going
the
to
angle
move
we're
that a
moving
little bit
Okay.
and make it
so
more
that
like a
we sort
50-meter
of
separation. So we
intersect
go
with our
somewhere,
previous track at
we
the
don't go
top.
exactly the same place we went with
'Cause
Herc.
the last thing I want
Yeah,
to do
that
is
sounds
head
good.
off the edge of this
But
and
I'm
ever
guessing
have
that
to go
50 meters
downhill
probably
or
isn't going to be
across.
that
This
different in
seems
terms
super
of,
treacherous.
I think it's going to
Yeah.
be perfectly legitimate to add more.
Yeah, I want
To
to
a
just have a
sample.
look through what depth ranges the pumps were done at to make
Okay.
sure it's not because I think they were moving
Yeah.
pretty fast.
If we don't have anything in this depth range, then we should get some.
But yeah,
our next
let me
move is
just
gonna be
take a
000.
minute to do that.
Yeah.
I would love that. Okie dokie, go ahead
Alright.
with the move.
Bridge nav. We would like to move 30 meters due north.
What is the lighter color rocky structures?
I don't know. I'm guessing
It's
it might be like
carbonate.
indurated carbonate, is it?
Carbonate,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that? Yes, but hopefully we'll be coming up.
I'm guessing the stark black must just be because lots and lots of manganese oxide coating here.
000 has upslope to it.
Yeah, it's a little bit upslope.
I mean, you wouldn't be getting closer to the wall unless it did have upslope, which means I get to come up, which means you get to come up. In the great circle of life, of ROV life.
ROV drives uphill. Except for that one time.
Except for that one time.
So it looks like the last time this sample was pumped, they were on a really rapid ascent. So the pump for the previous one took
Go for zoom
1
video.
hour, and in that time they went up 180 meters in altitude,
That
in
makes sense.
in depth.
Because we're heading towards some steep cliffs. So,
And
So you could add more on the same
well,
sample?
I'm not sure that's a good idea. I don't know,
little
because I
cup
think
coral?
then if we're moving
Oh,
laterally
yeah, I see
along
that.
the slope line, it will be maybe hard to disentangle those
Okay, go wide.
that data set.
Okay.
And they didn't really, so the previous samples, it was very like, you know,
On the
a
right-hand
50 meter
side
range
there.
for the
Oh,
pumps,
yeah.
or
Go
10
wide.
meter or 20 meter depth range. And then this one that they had previously was this 200 meter depth range. So I don't know if this would actually be a good one to fill in a gap of if we're spending more time
I
at
think
this
this
depth.
is so Spartan in terms of life.
Yeah.
That was one of the things Adam said when he got in, was it would have been dead, 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 and then everything just lit up just
that
towards
is
the end of their
true.
watch. So I think in terms of if we've got one set of pumps left, this wouldn't be the way to
do it.
keep our powder dry. We've still got at least 4 hours, probably more like 5 hours on this dive. So if we've only got one set of pumps left.
Well, in that case, I can
Relax.
well, I think in general, a net is never a good time to have hours without the pump sampling, because you need so much matter to get, you know, it just seems like a waste of dive time, particularly on a short dive like this. So I think
if we're expecting corals in 250 meters, which is going to be within the hour, then if they had samples at that kind of depth when they sat at around the 250 meter to 200 meter mark for a long time, I think they were there for about an hour on the previous watch. Maybe we could add some more to that.
Yeah.
I think what they found was it was rich with corals, but just very hard to work with at the bit of cliff that they encountered.
It looks like they weren't there very long.
I see the little red thing.
I saw in the chat that there was a lot of talk about how difficult it was to sample.
Wow, that's a steep slope.
Yeah.
It's not. It's going to be.
Yeah,
weird.
I think probably
It is
if we're
weird.
going to be going laterally, then it may be better to restart a previous pump rather than just have nothing pumping.
Yeah.
I don't think that having it for a few hours with no sample.
No. So maybe
Addition.
find the pumps
Yeah.
that are at the same depth range. See
I
which
think
pumps
that-
we had on when we came through 400
And
meters.
after
And
this, we're gonna take
Yeah.
what's
We
our
do
new
that.
heading?
Let's go 045.
Okay, so we
That'll
had
be
047 before, so I would have expected
We can do 046.
050 maybe.
Oh, we're gonna still intersect with our previous line, even at 045.
Okay,
So that'll bring us. Well,
Okay.
I guess we could go. We could go.
What's our
that?
yeah, you do
what's
you.
our
Or
what's
we
our
could do this.
what is our heading right now?
Oh, our heading right now is 030-ish.
Okay,
But
so
it's not
if-
really.
no. So if you, how about if we went orthogonal to this and then turned around to face orthogonal to 030 and came up that cliff from a different orientation?
So we're picking the direction of our
Get the little fish.
our transect by how we can minimize our exposure to fishing gear,
Yep,
but still cover new ground.
sure. But we've moved, because we've moved north and we're
Yeah.
going around the corner of the hill, the heading we want to come up at would be different.
Yes, and that's
And if we're going to converge, then we would need to be further around the circumference of that circle before
So
we head back to the.
060 to intersect.
is that the top of the.
That's here. I think.
Okay. 060.
Or somewhere where the
I think
squiggles were before.
If we went northwest now,
Or
then we could get somewhere
Yeah.
where we could just head east
Let's
to go up
see.
the same promontory and end up back in the same place as we were before. Does that make
okay,
sense?
to get to the red
Yeah,
line
it
high pack,
does.
it's 058.
058.
Mm-hmm.
Can you
Oh, nice
show
bet.
me that?
So you're here to
Yeah.
get to this point. This is
Yeah.
where we left bottom, so
Yeah.
that's where they got up to the top.
Okay, gotcha.
If we want to intersect where we were before.
058. Do you want to show that to Chris German and see what he thinks of that?
Yeah. Chris, are you looking
I
at the
can
high
look at
pack?
it. Yep. So it's that green line you got there?
Yeah, the green line.
I have
Yeah.
someone.
I was wondering maybe shunt a little bit more north now and then come at something that's in an even
Oh, you
higher
kinda
angle like
the
so.
more
Yeah.
angle?
Yeah, because then we don't end up in exactly the same place.
Oh, we won't
And
end
then
up
that's
in
more
exactly
thought-
the same
okay.
place.
I mean, that line now, if you look at the steep ones, that's more orthogonal, right? That's going to
Okay,
be
yeah.
going straight up contour that
Yeah,
on
we
that
could
heading.
we could do 065.
Yeah.
When you do our 065. Sorry.
So
what's-
it's a little more
Yeah.
orthogonal to the
So you'd be facing a bit more into the wall.
contour
And
lines.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
Someone just
Did you
wrote.
want to move north to start that line though?
I
Chris?
think we can actually do it from here, looking at
Okay.
what
We-
Megan's
we-
got
we
there.
could- yeah,
We're
we
already
could
in a
just-
good place if we do. Yeah, if we do that 065,
Okay.
I
The
think,
more orthogonal we are to these lines, the happier.
and I
we're
think
gonna be.
that'll do it.
Yeah.
If we rotate that angle, that'll just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll come around for that.
groovy.
Someone
And
just
that's
commented.
065.
I guess they were watching the last crew.
Mm-hmm.
They had bad currents and steep cliff face, and Herc got blown off the course, and they lost time recovering position.
Yeah, I was watching at that point.
Yeah.
They went up on top of a really thin spire,
Ah.
and when they were up there, they got blown off.
Mm-hmm.
The spire itself causes an increase in currents around it, and that's why the corals really like it,
Mm-hmm.
and that made it really hard for the ROV. But we'll miss that feature because we are skirting that area.
Maybe we can find our own spire just like it.
Yeah. Well, maybe there's more than one. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean that.
It
that
was a
lump,
really
that
cool
lump we
feature.
just saw
You
made
would
us
love it.
suggest that it's kind of three-dimensional here,
Do
right?
you know
The
which way they got
contours.
blown off?
I don't know. No. Because I didn't have that screen.
Okay.
I was just sitting in the lounge.
Right.
So looking at high pack, Gabby, it would make sense that we're going to be a bit oblique to start with, but on this heading, the contours are going to get more orthogonal as they get steeper.
Okay. Sounds great.
So on this, on
Love
the
the sound of that.
on the gentler part of the slope, we aren't going to be going directly uphill, but it is still the right heading, so that when the cliff
Okay.
comes, it'll be right in front of us,
Okay.
allegedly.
I'm ready.
You ready? All right. Oh. Bridge nav. We would like a 20-meter move, 065.
Thanks for the heads up.
Here we go. Gentle ramming speed.
Gentle ramming speed.
Nudging speed, maybe.
Nudging speed, I like
Yeah.
that.
You want to give me a reset?
Yes, I do.
You know what it is when it's half a knot and you've got the temperature probe in your hand? It's jousting speed.
Jousting speed.
Data, how would you like me to give you the information about the pumping we're doing for the rest of this dive, assuming that I continue restarting the pumps as we pass back through that same type of region?
If you restart one of the pumps that's already finished, let me know. Well, I guess that depends on what you like recorded.
I think it should be done in the form of performative dance.
Yes, actually, could you
to,
do that?
to sustain the
I
tradition we
actually-
started last night in the back row.
I can, but I think I need more space than we have
Oh,
available
okay.
in this van. So it
It's
could
quite
be,
complicated, yeah.
yeah,
Alright.
it's,
Like,
it's got a lot of
If
equipment
you're
involved.
using
and-
your new pumps, that would be one thing. But the fact that it's layered on top of pumps that have already been sampled.
So up on the monkey deck later then.
Yeah, that sounds a plan. Yeah.
Okay. How about you tell me the depth that you start again,
Yeah.
and then the finished total volume.
Okay, so pumps 6 and 7 have now been restarted at 384 meters.
Okay. Okay, 6,384 meters.
Yeah, and 7 also 384 meters.
Where are you looking?
In the little cup
Oh, yeah.
of the
I see.
rock.
Go for zoom.
Going for zoom.
It's an anthomastus. This is a very mushroomy mushroom coral.
Mm-hmm.
If it pulled its polyps in, it would look like little Super Mario mushroom.
And then, yeah, Mary, just when those pumps are turned off
Go
again,
Going wide.
let
Yeah.
me know the final volume.
I will let you know. I think it'll be in a little while. I'm going to wait till we get to the same depth where they were previously ended. So
Okay.
that looks like it'll be
Great,
another
Chef.
100 meters, 150 meters higher.
Okay, perfect.
I will keep you in the loop.
Someone commented, I agree on the dance, and there's still room for spirit fingers.
The only thing that wouldn't work is mime.
Mime.
It doesn't go well over the headsets.
No.
So we're going to cross our old line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have it in folklore from earlier in the dive that some of these cliffs are so tough that the pilot couldn't handle it. But that may just be one of those sea stories, Gabby, you know.
Oh my gosh.
The
Chris
folklore of the science chat
You
and sea log.
wouldn't say such a thing. They just couldn't handle it. Just went totally to pieces.
That's what the folklore says from the 8 to 12. I wasn't here, I didn't say it. Nuh-uh.
So
I just wanted to
funny.
give you a heads up, just to let you know it may be something you just can't do.
But Dan
Just
could
want to
do
get
it.
you, just want to get you in the zone now, right? Of that.
See that little like red spot?
Yeah, I do. Cucumber, maybe?
I don't know.
I just want to make sure you're in the game because it's all a bit quiet and easy at the moment for you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I made
it's
that
been
mistake
going
on the
easy
last
me.
watch. I didn't actually hype you up before something happened.
Oh, I think this is a good one. This is going to
Go
be
for
a good
zoom.
one.
Go for zoom.
Chonax. Look at that cutie.
Oh, what is it?
It's a Chonax. It's a relative of the Chonacops,
But not as pink.
but not
Is that-
pink. It's yellow.
Is that its own color, or is that
Yeah,
just
that's its color.
algae
It's
like
like
getting on it?
yellow and red. They kind of,
It's pretty big.
yeah, that's a good sized fish.
I
You can
can't
see the
believe you
little
got that.
little
It's got his
lure.
googly eyes.
That's awesome.
That's a tiny little lure.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
a little.
I mean,
just
you'd
a
have
little
to
one.
already be in its mouth by the time you got close to that lure.
It's just for.
Yeah, I think that's the point.
Oh yeah, it's like he doesn't want to have to move that fast. It's like no,
It's
no,
like,
you
come here,
just
look at
just
this.
swim right in.
Okay, go ahead.
Going wide.
It's built for
Cool.
comfort, not for speed.
They got the cutest frowny faces. It's great.
Megan, do you have a favorite fish?
Chonacops.
Chonacops.
There's a video of it and everything.
Of Megan saying it's her favorite fish.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. It was literally, we talked about this about a week ago.
Oh, that's a really pretty brittle star. It's all stripy.
This cruise, time has had no meaning on this cruise.
It is
A week
totally
ago?
gone.
Are you kidding me? What does
A
that
week
even
ago.
mean?
I don't know. Was it yesterday
What's
or
that?
a week ago?
I
There's
guess
a
something
coral.
Or was it 3.5 weeks ago? Who
Something that I
knows?
need to know about?
No, like something to look at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a cool coral right there.
Sorry,
was-
I know I'm always the bearer of bad news.
Yeah,
but
you
sometimes
But it's like,
really
good
are.
news.
it's just a cool thing.
Well, sometimes it's like, hey, there's a giant vent behind you.
Yeah.
What is
It's
that
literally
symbol?
your job to tell me all the bad things that might happen.
There's some little
for
walking
zoom?
friend too.
Going for
It's
zoom.
like a whole little community happening.
Yeah,
right there.
there's so
Oh,
much
wow.
happening.
Oh, it's a backpacking crab.
Oh,
I think
Oh.
it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
hermit crab with an anemone
Yep.
on its shell.
Yep.
Oh, it's so
Trying to do the
backpacking.
hill
And is it
climb
being
Oh, that's
chased
so
training.
cool.
Look at all
by
this
that
Oh, the
amazing
anemone just like
stuff
tucks
here.
in because it got.
What is on the coral?
yeah.
Is
what
that a
that?
fish?
It's a fish. Yeah.
Is it?
A fish?
Oh yeah, that's cool. We gotta get a good. That's a pretty fish. We gotta get some good shots of that. That's
Okay,
for sure.
go wide.
Going wide.
There's a lot of good stuff happening in
Yeah,
there.
this is a whole like
It's a party.
world.
Good job, Rye.
Yeah.
That wasn't bad news at all. Of
She
like,
gave me
oh, there's
heart
something over
failure,
here.
But
Yeah, sorry. I need to work on differentiating my tones. I'll have
yeah, your tone is exactly
Yeah.
the same for like, hey, how's it going? And this gauge is totally screwed up.
Mostly because like I don't want to tell you a gauge is going wrong in like a panic voice because
Yeah.
it's like it doesn't need to be like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
he's
not
like-
a panic thing.
Yeah, you do know butt cam's on fire, right?
Oh my God.
and it's like,
I think I prefer everything in your calm voice rather
Yeah.
than everything in a panic voice.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good balance.
I think the difference is a different song in Rye's head while
Can
she's
you,
speaking
watch
calmly.
out? It's really
It's
stupid.
like-
It doesn't look
Just
good, but
looking
it's
for the
really
different
stupid.
one.
Yeah,
Anything but circus
the
music.
bit
And
she
then
shares
can
with the
you
rest of
tilt
us is
down and
fine.
make sure
It's
you
like
pick up
just
on the
standardly calm, but
Yeah.
No, I appreciate
You're
your.
not.
Yeah, I know. I am well
Clearly.
aware. I appreciate your calm voice and the fact that you do always notice the bad things that are going on. That is your job. but it does mean that
I'll
sometimes.
work on having a, ooh, there's a cool thing over there.
Yeah, but don't say ooh.
Yeah, no.
Say ah.
No, that's bad too. That's really bad.
What about wow?
Wow
Oh,
is
wow.
great.
Or
Wow
don't.
is awesome, actually. I love wow.
Don't. Oh no. There's a
Yeah,
cool thing
no,
over there.
don't lead with that.
None of those.
Oh my god.
Well, there's
Or
a
we could just
pair
get
of hermit
Santiago in to
crabs.
say, oh, wait a
Okay,
minute, there
video,
could
go
be a
for Sam,
problem.
Go.
And then 45 minutes later go like, oh, that worked
That's
perfectly.
Good right there.
Oh, zoom back
We're
a
just
little
gonna
bit.
watch
is-
Oh, he
this
came
for a
back
little
out.
bit.
This is the coolest
The backpacking
fish.
crab came back out.
Yeah, there's two of them.
So is
I
that
wonder
a
if
fish
they're
in the middle?
friends. Yeah, the red thing is a fish.
Oh.
It's trying to trick you into thinking it's not a fish.
Yeah, that's the whole game.
What is going
Is that its
a
back end
crab
pointing
with an
uphill
anemone
towards
on it?
us and its
Yeah,
front end
it's
is
got an anemone
wedged
on
in?
its shell.
Which one is the fish?
The red.
The red and white thing?
Oh,
Inside of
that's.
the
Or red and
coral.
pink?
Oh wow, that's so.
And it's
cool.
like, so is it head forwards downhill to the right,
Yeah.
wedged into it?
I bet it has eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what it's
You
called?
can
The
push it
fish?
further.
No idea.
Gary.
Yes, Gary.
And is that a snail on the coral higher up?
Yeah, and there's a
spotty one.
nudibranch
Oh, yeah.
or
So
something.
cool.
Or was it's a spotted snail. What is that?
It's a ladybird.
It's really pretty. It's really pretty, whatever
Yeah.
it is. Look at this fish that has eyebrows.
Yeah,
Oh.
like old man eyebrows.
Yeah.
Do you know what type of fish this is?
So
Nope.
cool.
No?
I don't know. I've never
We
seen
just know
this
he's
fish
called-
before.
We just know he's called Gary. That's all we know about him.
Gary the fish.
And the snail is so pretty. The yellow and the dots and the.
It's like
Yeah.
yellow
Everything's so
polka dot.
pretty.
But the
Yeah,
coral,
stripes.
the coral is a primnoid.
Okay.
And I
And
think
then
there's
there's
a snail
little
higher as
dad
well.
floating on the dead part of the coral too.
Yeah, and
the
there's a
duck
going in and out.
barnacle.
Okay.
And you get those are it's Siri. It's like little feeding arms.
Okay.
And there's a brittle star.
We're having a great time with this coral.
I love it.
And I think
I
there's
kinda
Very
a
sick.
I
snail
want to
higher
see
up
the
on
fish's
the...
face.
There's
more.
a snail higher up the coral as well, I
Oh
think.
yeah, there's
Oh,
another
okay. I
still
can look
higher.
up.
Whoa.
Whatever
Wow.
that
It's a
is.
What is
different
going on
Is
shape.
it laying eggs, maybe?
Well, there's barnacles. Oh, and it's a crab. It's a hermit crab.
Oh,
See
yeah.
the legs?
Oh.
I do
Oh, it's a
not
hermit
see
crab.
legs.
So it's a
So
hermit
the-
crab
the
inside
white-
the shell.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And what's the thing wrapped around the coral above it?
There's a brittle star up there.
Brittle star.
The thing being poked by the crab right now?
Or the barnacles.
Oh,
possibly,
okay.
Yeah.
There's just a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a great coral.
Oh, you can see the,
The
fish.
hermit crab's taken off
Yeah.
with anemone. Just on a mission.
There's also like multiple of those brittle stars just like walking like cryptids in the background.
Yeah, they're like.
They're doing a little.
I hate that.
Well, brittle stars are a little unsettling.
What's a cryptid?
It's like Bigfoot.
Like
or
Yetis and stuff? Okay, yeah.
like-
Okay. That's
And-
what I thought you meant.
Yeah.
Okay, this is awesome, but let's go find more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go wide?
Going wide?
That fish is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
really
an
like the
amazing fish.
Okay, can you make sure that I'm square on the porch?
Maybe somebody will know what it is. I don't know.
It looks kind of like a juvenile rockfish.
It could be a rockfish of some kind.
Do they name rockfish Gary?
Maybe.
I mean, why not?
Is any
What's
of
wrong
this
with
coral
you?
something that
So
should
many
be sampled?
reasons.
Could we maybe like see its face a little better? Or is
I
that
can
not?
try. Okay.
Is this a,
I'm gonna
Megan?
fly
Yeah.
around it.
Mary was asking, is this a coral species that we should sample? Or is it
Yeah,
Or-
we
something
could
we have
totally
lots of?
sample this.
Or any of the things on
That
it,
will
I guess.
disrupt Gary, and then we'll
I
definitely
was
see
gonna,
his face.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, can we take the companions too?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Is it something you want to sample?
Sure, yeah.
You could put them all in the same slurp jar and they
Okay.
can reassemble into their little
Oh, yeah.
stack. Although that maybe
Ah.
blocks everything.
So, okay. This is really not a bad one. Would you like to take this one?
Sure.
And this will probably be a snip and slurp, right?
Yeah.
which I think that you are more than capable of attempting.
Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the reason I like these is because it's pretty easy, especially with your control over the jaws that you have, to get just one
Like
strand.
one strand.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that's what we're going to try to do.
A few questions then,
Oh yeah, go on.
and comments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me go with the comments first. Looks like a rain frog of the sea, parapagrid crab.
And
So if the fish is sitting on a coral branch, does that make it a perch? That's a snail. It's not a snail, it's a hermit crab. And then the question is, are you just transecting or eDNA sampling or what?
We
All of the
are
above,
eDNA
right?
sampling right
Mhm.
now.
So do you remember how to...
But we've
orient
returned to a
jaws
location
in
that we
order
were
to
at for the
sample?
beginning of the dive.
Yeah,
So we've
so we'll
restarted
just try
a
to-
previous pump that was also acquired in the same area.
So you want this, that
But it's
Yeah.
kind of cool that
Yeah.
an hour and a half ago,
Basically,
we were on the brink of having to cancel the dive because of
Yeah.
overheating, and here we are an hour and a half later, we're like back in the game and finding wonderful things and getting new samples. So
Yeah, and it's
testimony
perfectly
to
reasonable if you want to
perseverance.
just tap a few things to get a feel
Yeah.
for where you are and how far out you need the arm to be. Upper is going to be a great help to you when you're trying to figure out just your general kinematics.
Yeah. This is just me trying to...
And I
What do you
suspect
call it when you,
none of this was stuff
oh,
that they saw,
indexing.
even though we're only
Yeah,
50 meters
re-indexing is
across
when you halt
from
and
the
find
last
a
line.
new
Oh, I'm
place
sure
for
this is
your
different.
I think
Yeah.
these are all
controller to
different
sit.
things that we're
Kind of what
seeing
I've
now
been
just
doing.
because there's so much
Yeah.
unknown and, you know,
Do we have a
sometimes
stock that
exploration,
we're
if you're the first people to go
using?
somewhere, you don't really
Yeah,
have to
the
travel
one
very
closest
far
to
to
you
see
would be
something
great.
completely new.
We just need one piece of that.
So
In fact, when we
this
came on
one's an
watch, I think
interesting
we
one
took,
because,
I don't know how many
Leo,
different
can you
samples
go
we
in
took,
a
but
little bit?
we only moved like
Katsu?
5 meters across the
Yeah,
seafloor,
there's
but
so much going on.
Yeah,
It
lots
was-
of samples.
What's that?
We're up to,
Super is
let's see,
Yeah,
for
you
this
can stop
dive,
listening to it. So
we got
you wanna
25
try and
samples
only
already
get
for
one
this
stock,
dive.
but
and I think they'd
your
taken
jaws
one
are
when
really
they got
long
here
and
or
gangly,
something.
and they will
Yeah,
get
I get
more
2.
unless
They had
you
2,
try
we
and
got
separate
23
them
samples,
the stalks out.
and
So
we spent
even
an
though
hour and a
it's not
half
an
just recovering
ideal
from overheat. Well,
sampling
no wonder we got
configuration,
overheated.
Yeah.
We were
you
working
might
hard.
try pointing your jaws away from you. Because if you come in this way, you're going to get several strands.
There's a big fish about to swim underneath your arm.
So go wide video,
Going wide.
because that way you can sort of think about, and it's going to be more blind.
Oh yeah,
for
I
sure.
see it over to the right.
But
It's
it's a
maybe
good
not so big.
experiment and a good, like it'll be a nice trial for you to like feather the jaws and get them in between the stalks and try and only get one stalk. Another thing you can do is come in from the side and take that stalk and sort of tow it away from the other stalks.
Wonder how long
Okay,
this
cool.
redfish is going
Yeah,
to
you
stick
do-
around.
You do
Yeah, I'm
your
kind
strategy
of
and see
curious
how it
what
goes.
style
It
it
might not
swims.
even move.
Wouldn't it
It
be
might
great if
just
there's
be
a
like,
puffer fish and it suddenly expanded to be like bigger than the field of view of the
Yeah.
camera?
You can also poke at it and push it around and see what happens.
Bulk
and
itself up.
see
That
how
would
it
be a very
responds.
big fish.
That would be huge. Or maybe it's just going to like crease
But
its
for a lot of
eyebrows.
these, they
and
really
the
do
eyebrows
need
is just
to
going to
be
frown
on
at us.
the blades
I'm
in order
sleeping
to
here.
come with you.
yeah, this is going to be kind of wiry.
And Asako asks if it's possible to collect the coral with the snail.
Oh, the little yellow and
Yeah.
black
Yeah,
dot
the
snail?
spotty one.
Yeah, we
Well,
can
there goes the
suction
hermit
it
crab, but-
after we get the coral snip.
I think the
Okay.
hermit crab just fell off.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Yeah, that's
Beautiful job
perfect.
getting that separation there.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what
you're
we want.
absolutely right. I think that's beautiful.
The fish is unbothered.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they
I think
really
it
don't
needs-
like to
I
move.
think you need to keep
When they
going to
swim,
get it on
do
the
they
jaws,
swim like a
to get it on the scissor
well,
blades.
or are they kind of happy as sitting?
There you go. You got it. It's too far now. I think you might be on it now. Yeah. And then if it doesn't break immediately, oh,
Yeah, you
it
got
broke
it.
immediately. Beautiful. Nice job. Nice sample. So make sure you're either locked or jaws closed. I'm going to get you some cameras that you need to do this and some flushes that you need to do this. Okay, what's our sample jar? Data?
Be
4?
sample 2 or 5.
2 or 5?
2 or 5, okay.
See, I can't even remember.
We'll do 5 in case we need 2 for something finer. Okay, there's 5. I'm going to tilt down so that you can see. Nice working through that shake there. This is not an easy setup. So there's actually a different solution than just shouldering down. Do you see it? What is it? Pitch down. It's pitch down. You shouldn't, I don't think you'll need to do a full inverted pitch, but if you bring it down, it's going to give you more. You want to keep your yaw over. Yeah, beautiful. And then you're going to need to do some rotation to get things lined up properly. I'm going to give you some suction here. Nice job. That's just giving you additional length to your arm so you can get down lower. And then, yeah, and then yawing down will give you a little bit more, but you can't yaw down too much because it interferes. But nice job. And way to see that pitch maneuver there.
You're almost in. I think it's a little lower.
Video, can you zoom a bit?
Yeah, definitely.
Now your wrist is on the rock, so pick up. There you go. Nice save. Now just wrist rotate a little bit. Yeah, a little more. You're really close. There, you're in. And I've got a lot of suction on, so. When you open those jaws, don't open very much because you see how they're gonna push you right away. Yeah. So another thing we can do is actually kind of, oh, nice. Very close to getting it. Yeah, I have a fair amount on. It wants to now,
Yeah.
I think.
It's just a little sticky. There we
There
go.
it is.
Nice job. Nice job.
All right.
And they've arrived.
Yeah,
They're in
okay.
chamber 5.
Grab the ball and suck the snail.
Okay. Do you want to try and grab the ball? Okay. I usually grab it from the top. I find that it gives me more options. And let me just sort out where the snail is as well.
It's like,
And Megan, that was 296.
thanks. It's from the same branch
Really
we
nice
sampled.
job. That's your first snip and slurp.
The same what?
Oh, the snail was on the same branch that we clipped.
Oh, did it end up in the jar?
No, oh, we're gonna go and get it.
Oh, got it. Are you gonna put it in the same jar too?
Yeah, we're gonna
Okay,
put it in
cool.
the same jars, same sample.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
We just didn't want to be greedy with the
Sort
taking a
of
whole
straight.
coral for a
I
snail.
try and I usually grab straight up and down, or a little bit from the back, and it might be easiest just based on your angle to turn your jaws 90 degrees from where they are, so you're grabbing from the sides. Again, sorry, 90 again. So you're grabbing from the sides with the, yeah, there you go.
I have a question here. Have there been any studies published on the chronobiology of the organisms from this region? It's truly fascinating. Could you tell us something about the sensory perception of these organisms?
Well, we're relatively shallow, so most of these animals will be able to see, because during the daytime there is light down here. Not enough light for photosynthesis, but enough light to see by. So if it was, you know, midday instead of midnight, we could turn the lights off on the ROV and still have light.
Just move your elbow. Yeah, there you go.
But other animals that don't have eyes, like corals, so they have tactile sensory. So like when we go to pick a coral up, you'll notice that all the polyps will close. Some animals can just sense light but not resolve an image. Most animals have olfactory senses for smelling.
Okay, and when you go to take this out, it's really important to pull it straight out. So now that you're using tools, part of using tools is that they can be really easy to damage because you don't know your own strength, and there's no way for you to know your own
Someone
strength.
just wrote,
so you have to really think
this
through
whole time
the
Gary's
mechanics of
just
each
chilling
tool.
there.
Oh yeah, Gary's gonna keep chilling there. Probably will move with the suction sampler, but maybe not. Sometimes they're very determined. If it's really a rockfish, then that'll be the test, because they don't like to move.
And watch, you'll hit the suction end on the, yeah. And then this has got the additional level of difficulty of you can only spin it clockwise. Right, because if you spin it counterclockwise, it unscrews the top. It unscrews the ball. You might get away with it, though. Yeah.
I like the way you just waited till after Ryan actually had it ready to go, and then you tell her that.
What's
like,
that?
I like the way you held off telling her about the only spin it clockwise thing.
Yeah. Oh, I just you know.
Just when you're ready to get everything else going, like,
I try to up the level of complexity
something else
slowly.
something we didn't tell you.
Here, I will
it's like,
zoom in on it.
I think
so
it's just
on the
there.
branch. Yeah, that's the one. It's on the branch that we sampled, just a little lower than where you
It's like
grabbed.
a tiny little pimple.
It's a really cute little polka dotted snail. Keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. We're going to show everyone the snail.
Oh.
There it is.
Yep. In the positive, that's in the positive direction.
Yeah. But you can try. It may be tight enough. So, okay, go wide. So I did tighten it down the last time because I only spun clockwise. So you might be able to get, if you do it without spinning at all, or with just, I would do the tiniest spin because you really need to be able to see the end of the tube in order to get the thing that you're trying to get. So I would spin just a little bit and see if you can get away with it. And it would be a counterclockwise spin so that you can see the plastic. You know what, we really just need left-handed thread on this.
Yeah.
Because
it's a right-handed thing.
Exactly. Or we need to put it on the other side. Okay, zoom in a bit. Yep.
Well, Gary's getting nervous.
Gary's not sure about this.
Someone just wrote in, I identify as a rockfish because I don't like to move
Zooming
either.
in more.
Let me know when you're ready for suction.
I think it's
Wow,
perfect.
Gary.
Yep.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
Might
you
need
might
a bit
have
of
to
a nudge.
scrape it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
There he goes.
Yeah.
Yay.
Boy.
Beautiful job.
And Gary didn't even
There.
flinch.
No.
I think it's in there.
It's in there.
Gary's just wondering
Yeah.
about the neighbors.
Okay, and when you put it back, same thing. You have to be sort of pretty gentle with it.
You probably could suction Gary.
Oh my gosh, I have suctioned a little tiny fish before. It's very cute. Like a sole, like a
Oh,
flatfish that
yeah.
was like this big.
Yeah, the little tonguefish.
Yeah.
So cute.
Are we ready to rotate the chamber and keep those samples safe?
Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me.
Someone just wrote, Gabby just helped me a new way to coach someone without sounding condescending. There's a
Yeah.
different solution for that. Do you see?
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Gabby's great.
Yeah.
Gabby's been
Thank you guys.
giving a master
Should
class in
open,
mentoring the whole of
yeah,
this cruise.
should open an
But-
start an
but
ROV
I
class
ask
or
a
a
question
school.
like that, and my students know the answer, so that helps. She saw it.
Oh.
It's all good. Just open your jaws all the way. And give them a... so can you pitch up a little bit? I'll give you more to look at. There you go. Pitch up. Just isolate that. Yep. Stop there. Azimuth right a little bit. Just to give yourself some more space to work with. There, nice. Yeah, oh, it's definitely caught. Now rotate counterclockwise on your wrist rotate. There you go. Now you can pitch up. Nice. And now do a little more wrist rotate. A little more. And now you could probably, instead of rotating there, yaw left. What do you think? It's not pitch, that's pitch. Pitch back up a little bit. It's the side-to-side one. No, it's not, that's rotating like that won't do anything. I don't have you set up so that that does anything. It's going to be moving your hand this way, side to side. Yeah,
There you
there
go.
it goes.
Yay.
Yeah, good job. Nice save. Those are always the hardest because you get like kind of tense about things being in the wrong place and then you do the wrong moves. And I find that when I get in that situation, that's when I want to separate out the joints and be able to move each one individually. Yeah. Usually everything's very intuitive about how you move. You're just like, you reach for something and you grab it. But when you get tangled, you have to look at your joints and be like, okay, a pitch up is going to solve this, a wrist rotate is going to solve this, and like really parse it out. And that's something that this arm is really good at. Nice. Are we all set here?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Beautiful job. That was really awesome. That was a snip and slurp and a scrape and slurp. Those are two very excellent skills to have.
That was a tiny little snail to
Yeah, it
do the
was.
scrape
Really
and
tiny.
slurp on as well.
Okay.
Gary, just turn around.
See you, Gary. Oh, now he moved. Heard his name.
Yeah.
Gary.
It's like, wait, is that me?
Are you calling me?
Yeah. You know my name is Dave, right?
Okay. Onward?
Onward.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Bridge nav. We'd like to move 20 meters 065. That was fun.
Yeah, that was awesome.
People sending some love to Rai, way to get unsnagged. And then True Gabby is an amazing teacher. You guys have been doing awesome things for like the first 2 times using the ROV. And then question, could you tell us something about the composition of the sediments we see?
There's the Nautilus shell.
The composition of the sediments.
I'm guessing they're all carbonate too
all
here, right?
carbonate, yeah.
What does that mean? Can you make that layperson?
Like
Carbonate has
old coral
Okay.
and shells.
Okay.
The same stuff that chalk's made of. So the shells, it's calcium carbonate, is a mineral that the organisms can precipitate from seawater. And so that's what they use to build the hard ground that the corals live on, and then the coral skeletons, a lot of them, and animal shells. It's a very common mineral that they get made, and then anything that dies and gets eroded and wave action on the surface will just break little bits off, and it makes for this soft white sandy material. So it's actually fine-grained. The pale brown kind of tan slabs we're seeing are the same mineral as well.
There's 2 hermit crabs down there walking together. It's cute.
Just out for a
nice.
stroll.
That's so great. I didn't see him though.
I don't know if they were meant to be cute. Maybe they're like fighting over a shell or something. Who knows? Who knows what they're doing? They won't tell us.
Oh, snakes. I can take that over anytime.
Okay.
Okay. All the gauges are good.
Except motor, which looks
Yeah.
good but isn't.
Yeah, I just got an asterisk besides that.
Yeah,
so.
nice. We have to
It's
remember
holding
to.
very steady.
Yeah, it is
now.
holding very steady. At broken o'clock.
And Megan, I think that was called a flag rockfish, Sebastes rubrivinctus.
Okay,
That's what it looks like.
cool. I've never seen one before.
So his name was Seb.
What was it called?
Sebastes rubor. What was it?
Rubrivinctus,
Rubervictus.
or a flag rockfish.
Well, it did look flaggy to me.
Oh, I should
yeah.
get my button gear here.
Rock.
Sorry,
There's
guys.
some
Okay.
fun features.
Oh, this is gnarly stuff.
Yeah, these rock formations are great.
It's like walking across the dales in Yorkshire now with the limestone pavements.
It is.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
This is what Yorkshire's like? Are there lots of caves in Yorkshire?
Yeah.
There are actually, yeah. A lot of caves and a lot of rock formations.
It's a lot wetter in Yorkshire than the bottom of the ocean there,
Yeah,
on account of the rainfall.
pretty much. There's nowhere wetter than Yorkshire, actually. What's that thing
The
growing
green
on the
thing?
rock. Yeah,
I
these
think
green
it's
things.
crinoids.
Yeah. I bet there's really good rock climbing in Yorkshire.
Mm-hmm.
There is
Yeah.
amazing, amazing climbing in Yorkshire.
This kind of cast limestone is like a really big deal in China as well for ornamental gardens and things.
Oh, really?
What's
Oh,
the
yeah.
red thing
If you
inside
go-
that rock hole?
It's one of those antimastus mushroom corals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been seeing a bunch of those.
Your ability to identify through shadows even is like spectacular.
I thought it was going to be a crab or something.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, I made you
through
look at one earlier because I wasn't sure what it
very
was. But it looks like
tiny-
we collected one. I saw one in one of the chambers. I think I'll let you keep climbing this feature.
Yeah. We're not at the top of
Not
it
at the
yet.
top
Oh,
yet.
what's the green stuff?
It's a crinoid.
Oh, that's another crinoid?
Oh, go for zoom.
Yeah, it's looks really pretty. Oh, that green stuff. I thought you meant
Is
the other green
algae.
No,
stuff.
I was
Algae.
the one
Okay,
on the right.
this-
That's the
there it
crinoid
is.
there. That was what I was looking at.
Oh, there's a little guy next to it.
oh yeah, the fish.
There's a little fish.
Oh,
Oh, it's tiny.
Oh,
a
it's so
tiny
small.
little like
Oh, it's a
Chanakapsi
tiny,
looking
yeah,
fish.
a tiny little Chanax.
And some great eyes.
So very small. Oh my goodness,
It's
so
so
adorable.
tiny.
Love the colors. Oh wait, what are
That
we looking at?
the
The white
crinoid
one? Little-
thing.
that's a
is
little
what
fish
we,
there.
Oh my gosh, it's so cute.
Yeah, I think we collected one of those
Yeah,
crinoids
we
earlier.
collected one of those on
Okay.
our second dive to the bottom.
Okay, go on.
Going wide?
Oh, and I think that crinoid had one of those snails on it. There's some snails that specifically like to associate with crinoids
Mm-hmm.
and feed off their excrements.
It's a cool Fiona bird.
Yeah, this is a cool feature.
Are you getting much current with it, Gabby? Are you having to get blown around a little?
What's that?
Oh, that's a coral, is it?
A little bit of current, but nothing that I have to fight so far.
Okay.
Is that a bit?
I
What
have
is
no
this?
idea.
To the left. Oh,
I can't tell what it is.
Maybe there is some current because my laterals don't want to work anymore.
Are you at the end of your tether?
I mean, I had just, the laterals aren't working, so that must be the end of.
I was going to say, this seems like the kind of spire terrain they were talking about on the previous dive.
Yeah.
I have to keep moving, unfortunately.
Can
I
you back
can't.
up and come back into it? Or
What's that?
oh, you don't have time because
No,
Atlanta's moving?
I just can't make headway.
Okay.
It's not.
What is it though? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm struggling here.
I think it's a fish.
Can we zoom any more with what we got? At least
Yeah,
partial
maybe-
zoom,
maybe
just to see
so.
what's there without moving the vehicle anymore?
Yeah,
Yeah.
can you make
Yeah.
that happen?
Okay, go for zoom.
no. Okay, going. for
Like
zoom.
balanced on such a marble here right now.
Here we go.
What is it? What is it?
Take a look.
Coral.
Oh, it's a coral.
Is it the same-
It's a stylaster.
Is it the same dark red one we
This
sampled
is
earlier? Or
This
is
is
this
a
different new?
hydrocoral. This is stylaster.
Okay,
Sta-
get your
stylaster.
images and we're going to keep going.
Yeah,
'cause
Okay.
This is a
we
very silly
did
place.
yeah, we did collect one of these on the other shallow dive we did.
Okay,
Nice.
Yeah.
we're ready to go.
Okay,
Okay,
go
it
on.
is
Going
good.
wide.
I don't know.
It's a
I
very
don't-
silly place to like
It
just
was
not
such.
do you see?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Look at how little you are balanced on. I'm
This
just
is
gonna
It's
make
just-
sure-
Yeah,
It's you're
very
like one
steep.
of those little balance birds, you know?
That's
You're like,
actually
boop.
so comical.
Totally like the eagle that
Can I zoom in on Atalanta just to see the view? Okay, I'm zooming in on Atalanta just so we can see
I
that.
wish you could really like, that's very silly.
Perched on one toenail.
Oh my god. Okay. That's
Great
very
job,
comical.
Gabby.
Nice job,
I love
Gabby. Yep. Yep.
That's all for our stylaster.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why. It was just looking like something
Okay. Here we
completely
go.
different.
Yeah, it was looking like a
It was
fish.
looking like something.
It was something.
Okay, I'm gonna keep heading up, but things are a whole thing now.
Things are getting a little
That's a beautiful shot, actually, on Atalanta.
fascinating.
Seeing
Yeah,
how that
you-
feature
these
looks.
Sheer cliffs, you get nicer shots of her.
That's not terrifying at all.
Mm.
Just the
Oh my gosh,
drop.
the vertigo. Yeah, right.
Do you guys get vertigo from this?
I get vertigo watching this.
Yeah.
More with the cable lay stuff, but I can get vertigo looking over a cliff. Luckily, it has very little impact. Like, you know, if you get vertigo, but you're actually like standing on your own feet, like that's a problem. But if you get vertigo and you're sitting in a chair piloting an ROV, it's like
It doesn't
you
matter.
just push through it.
ROV's not gonna.
Yeah, it doesn't throw the ROV off at all.
I got a question
Okay, I
here.
think we can
Have
put
there
in,
been
like, a
any
10-meter
signs of
move or something.
improvement
Okay.
with our coral reef ecosystem here in Tutuila Islands? I don't
That's
think
probably a question for Val, who is not on this
Yeah.
shift.
and we haven't really explored Tutuila Islands either.
I think this is our first dive to come back to the shallow areas
Oh
here.
yeah, the
so
current was
Yeah.
just right there.
And I think the
Just
shallow
at the
areas near here are
stylaster.
still
Of
pretty
course.
deep from the
That's why
reef's
stylaster was there.
perspective.
yeah, I think we'll have to wait till we get up to
Yep.
the top to actually
Yeah.
have much information on that. The little
do
bit
love
of time
this
we did
limestone.
spend at the start of our watch,
It's limestone, right?
it was pretty
Still,
vibrant. It
yeah,
was
and
like
it was
there
still
was
150 meters as well.
yeah,
It was
Yeah.
pretty deep.
that was still at the bottom end of the photic zone.
Is that a rock or a snail? It's a rock. Yeah.
They're just like manganese
Chunks of-
concretions.
yeah.
Mallow
But they're
carnate.
embedded in the rock. They're not just surface, I
You
think.
put in a 10-meter move?
Yeah.
It might have been something that the manganese oxide has grown all over it, but maybe like the
Yeah.
fossilized remains of.
Although these ones here look more in the rock. Maybe. It's hard to tell though.
Mm. It's kind of nice, like the way the light dusting of the sediment picks out where all the little
The features.
cavities are in the shelves and things.
Yeah.
You can see just how complex the shaping is.
What's that little, like,
Oh, I see. The cricket.
yeah, cricket?
Go for zoom on cricket.
Going for zoom.
It is a dead cup coral,
Oh, okay. Not a cricket.
not a cricket.
Okay,
Is
go
that-
wide.
Shimmer? What is that?
It's because it's warm. It's warming up as we get up.
Ah, you're right.
Oh, watch your upgrade.
Here.
Yeah, I forget we're so shallow. It's
Yeah.
15 degrees.
Yeah. it
Normally
gets-
that
it
shimmer is
gets-
something more...
Right, yeah, when we were down deep, that was like, that meant something
Yeah.
geological. Now
It's a
it's
cute
just
little
like,
fish.
it's just water masses and hydrography. Did your CO2 do anything?
It's
Oh, it
just
does. It looks
during
like a
the
chironema.
sort of column,
It's
water
just
column structure,
showing
which is
its
quite
scale.
complex in this
Mhm.
area. It's got a lot of different layers of stratification.
White.
Got another question. What causes these crazy geological forms?
What
It's
is that? Is
Interesting
that a
coral?
coral?
What's that?
That's a really good question. I don't know how they form underwater, to be honest. I know so carbonate is very susceptible to little
Is
bits
there
of
fish
acidity, so
hanging
it can
out
be
between
dissolved
Herc and
if you get slight
Atalanta?
different levels of pH.
Could be.
Take a look in
So-
the Atlanta cam.
I'm
On
watching.
on land, if you get rainfall, then just
Oh,
the
I see,
rain
it's
can
the
be slightly
rock.
acidic.
Yeah.
It can dissolve up little
Whoa, that was
pits,
a weird one to try
and it makes
like,
little
I thought it
process.
was like a
like
big.
little ponds that get
Yeah.
deeper and deeper because that's the hollows that the water gets
Struggling
into.
to sometimes process those like different shadows, try and tell
But
overhangs
these
from
things-
underhangs, and
What is that circle of?
Chris, is
I
there
I
also
think it's a
potential
demasponge,
for
a
like,
crusting demasponge.
like see there's little bits of
Or
sediment
it
or
could be
stones
an
in the
old
depressions,
holdfast
and if they get moved around
where
by
it's
the
broken
currents,
off.
can make out little
Could be an
bowls,
erosional
like
thing, a bit like, if you see this, yeah.
like
It's
inside
like
pools and
cleaner
things.
rock.
I suppose I don't know how much subsidence there might have been here as well. Maybe these things did form a lot shallower,
Oh yeah,
and then they're underwater now, but they didn't necessarily.
right.
If these are like part of the foundational stuff of the reef, it's been here long enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, the very
Right.
top, you can still see like
Yeah.
the remains of the
yeah,
old
you can see
atoll.
the yeah, yeah.
But I have to
And it
admit,
also
this
makes
is
it like it's
a
just
couple of
gonna be
thousand
really
meters
hard
shallower
right
than
now.
I'm used to diving
Yeah.
with an ROV. So
And probably significantly older than a lot of the stuff you look at. Actually, I don't know
True.
how... This is pretty old, I guess. But I don't know how old. Do you
yeah,
know?
I mean we're several islands in from the
This
Yeah.
must
the
be
fun
where
end
they
of the
got blown
hotspot,
off.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah,
let's see, how far did we
think
travel?
so.
We
Like this-
travelled, was it
probably
4
right
hours
here.
of transit?
Yeah,
Where
4
they
and a
lost
half, I
So
think.
that's
the
40, 35 miles, call it 50
14 knots
kilometers.
1-4. We were doing 14 knots. Good transit.
Probably more
I
like 10.
don't think we did
isn't it?
14, probably more
No.
like 9 or 10.
9 or 10.
So if we call
But
it
then
50
they got it back
kilometers,
and it wasn't
that's
super currenty, just
fif-
a little ways up, right?
pretty much
five,
just right here.
about 5
where it starts to get
million
interesting.
centimeters. So 5
10
million
meter
divided by 20
Sure.
or 10,
Bridge nav.
That's
It's
500,000.
500,000
We'd
years,
like to
half a
move
million
10
years.
Half a million years
meters.
difference?
065.
Yeah,
It's a long time.
That's long enough.
half a million years older than Vailulu.
So a lot of this does look like it,
The texture is so
like when you
weird.
see the carbonate structures in the surf zone and,
Yeah.
and
It looks
atolls
like
and
reef.
things. Yeah, that form a reef.
I thought we would
This
see
Mhm.
some bottom
Feature
fish.
almost looks like old coral
Gary.
impression.
Yeah, we did have Gary. but
Right,
Yep.
He's not
so this
like
probably was, that's probably what
one
this
of
is
those
then.
big
It's
Atlas.
Old reef
it's probably
that's
what
subsided.
was the
or
surface
grouper.
layer of the
Yeah.
coral when the atoll was younger, and that as the oceanic plate cools and it drops down and subsides below the waves, this has just been preserved and left over from
Yeah.
textures that were formed much shallower in the ocean.
It's got some beautiful textures on it.
Mm.
Yeah, it does.
A real variety as well as morphology.
Would you like a Doppler reset?
Yes, please.
Is that a
That's
small
like-
crab?
that's
A
insane.
hermit crab?
Yeah, down at the bottom left.
Yeah. Going for a stroll.
Uh-huh.
Mhm. The Sunday afternoon drivers, they're a bit
Yeah.
early, they're out early, but they're wearing anemones instead of putting hats on when they go for a slow
Well,
drive in the
let me
country.
zoom that
Maybe they're on
coral, or is-
UTC like the ROV
Yeah,
is.
good try.
Oh,
It is.
yes.
It's an afternoon
Go
drive.
for
So
zoom.
it
Go
is.
for zoom.
It's like a Yorkshire getting stuck behind somebody out for a Sunday afternoon drive on a little lane in North Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Black coral.
It's going for a leisurely
Maybe,
cruise.
I don't know.
You'd never
It
see
could be
that.
an
Never see a
octocoral.
Yorkshireman wearing an anemone for a hat, though. I don't think. So. Although my brother-in-law Ian might be listening, so that could be a good challenge.
Zoom
To
more.
find one.
Zooming in more.
Go find
Yeah.
himself an anemone hat for Halloween or something.
We're only gonna get a second.
I could
here.
imagine
I
you
think
wearing
it's
an
a
enemy hat if
octocoral.
someone
Go
gave you
wide.
one.
Going wide.
Oh, I am, but I'm not a Yorkshireman.
Are you not
I'm a
a
softy
Yorkshireman?
southerner. No, my
Ah.
family,
See
like,
it blowing in
I've
the
married
breeze,
into,
so.
I'm a sometime honorary Yorkshireman. But
Okay.
Do they, in Yorkshire, do they wear those flat, like, Tams?
Yep.
Yeah. You can put an enemy on that, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Good
can,
stir,
well, you can
like, good
balance
substrate
one,
for
but
it.
That's the pink one.
I did in 2019. We had that. We had a cruise where we were working out whether or not our towed camera with the icebreaker was going to get pushed over the vent site or not.
Oh, is it a
And it was,
regular urchin?
I was used to how long it took to work
Like a
and how long it took to set up a program. And there were a lot of students getting really bored.
for
So
zoom.
the only way we
Go
did
for
it was
zoom.
like, okay, everybody put your hats on and we'll have a bet of who's going to be wearing, which one's going to be the lucky hat.
Sea biscuit.
What is that, Megan?
So
It's
actually,
an
I had to
irregular
change.
urchin. Some people call them sea biscuits.
That's a good
Okay,
name.
go white.
Going white.
And do you know why it's irregular? Like, is there a biological advantage to that?
Oh, it's just a group of them.
Okay.
They're just not round.
Yeah, but is there a benefit to being not round?
I don't know.
Go faster, like sea biscuit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pre-line.
you go faster.
That's a Triple Crown winner right there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think the arrangement of their spines is a little bit different, so they can like burrow and move around slightly different than your round urchins.
I think we can do
But-
another 10-meter move.
Okay. But I don't know. Bridge nav. We'd like to move 10 meters, 065. Another one of those corals. More biscuits.
Are you going to keep the multi-buffer eDNA pumps on
I think
till next what?
I'm not
I'll
stoked
leave
to do a
them, so the
handover, just
previous
if we could
depth
pull it
range
off.
where this pump was acquired was up till 240 meters. So
Okay, got it.
I'll keep it within the same range as before, which I think will probably be, we won't get to 240 by the end of our watch, I think. So, and then
Okay.
Annette and
Challenge.
Santiago can just
Right.
Accepted.
Another
There's
regular.
a big cliff
Yeah.
right ahead, 30 meters
Seems to be a
out.
lot of
So
yeah,
we
maybe.
might have to put the jetpacks on again.
Well, I have more pumps that can come after that.
Cool.
But yeah, I think that will just, I'll leave it going till
But-
they're done.
Keep going till we get to 240.
They're really pretty. They look like little mice.
There's a bunch of them here. Huh?
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Do you know what they feed on?
Whatever they can find.
Mm-hmm. Whatever happens to come by.
Yeah.
Do you think they were there further down as well? We just didn't notice them because there was too many other things going on?
No, I think we're just. This is
Or
the
we're just getting
spot.
into their zone?
Yeah, this is their zone. There's a lot of them here. Maybe they're having a gathering.
Maybe it's just the aesthetics. They just like the Zen garden feel of this place.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
It is very relaxing, nice
Yeah.
and smooth and calming.
It's a very
Except
chill
for
dive.
Gabby, I don't know
Yeah.
if she says it's relaxing.
yeah.
But you're doing
It's totally
great,
chill.
Gabby.
Yeah. That's
This is so
that's why
peaceful.
Gabby's been so quiet, right? That's, it's not the gritted teeth and the tense clenching at all. It's the
There's a black
the Zen
thing in
garden,
the.
yeah, just in your zone, right?
There's a black thing in the top right of upper, but I don't know what it is.
Okay.
It might be just rock, different
Might
rock.
Take a
just
look.
be a hole in the rock.
It might be all
no,
in the rock.
it's not a hole. That's it might be whatever those other black fragments were we saw lower down.
It's rock.
Oh,
yeah.
it's a bit of rock sticking out.
Yeah. Oh, there's a pencil urchin.
It's a basaltic rock, though.
Oh, it is a
It's a
nice
different rock.
It is different rock, yeah. Definitely in the other rock as well. It's not just like a deposit layer
No,
on top.
it's protruding. That crack's interesting. Can we just rotate and look along it?
Rotate
try to work
the
out.
vehicle to the left.
Right.
Okay.
That way.
And then do a somersault.
And then do a what?
A
Somersault.
somersault. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Just keep
Forward
going.
roll, just
Yeah.
like it's just
The-
nudge the
the-
basket and just drive
The
past.
current is favorable for somersaults, so we should be fine.
Cool. So, why would I think this might be like a crack from an earthquake at some point in the past that's fractured it. I can't
Yeah.
think why else
So long.
you'd have a crack like a gully in a carbonate.
It's a pretty big gap. It's a decent size.
Yeah, can we put the lasers on for a moment, please?
Yeah.
Is that like a 10 centimeter?
It's probably a little wider
Thing.
than 10.
There we
Yeah.
Yeah,
15,
more like
20.
15, 20.
I have a few comments here.
That would be my guess, is it's a from seismic
Could probably have
shaking
another 10-meter move.
at some point in
Roger.
the past.
It's highly
Bridge
possible
now.
that this could have been part of a shoreline or more shallower
Mm-hmm.
at some point in the past. I would say that there are common erosion texture with all carbonates underwater for some reason. No, they are probably eating the CCA. We are just getting into here. You can see the color on the rocks.
Oh, that'll be for the sea biscuits, I guess.
Yeah.
They're eating that. But yeah, I think Chris was saying that
Yeah.
when he works in Palmyra Atoll with the shallower carbonates, he sees the same
Yeah.
kind of textures there.
It's just going to keep getting exciting from here on.
Yeah, a little bit of a small pebble or a grain of sand will get in a small depression, and it'll
Mhm.
stay there. And as the tide or the currents move over it, it'll
Right,
move in
it'll just
circles and
scour
wear a
it
little
out.
hole. Yeah.
What's that red thing in the hole?
It's
It's a
little
squat lobster.
Oh,
Oh, look at it just poking out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
arms. You talked about it inside.
It's backing away.
That's very
Try.
funny.
He's like,
That's so funny.
It's like
it's
you
like,
can't see
don't look at me, don't look at me. I'm having a bad hair day.
honestly, how terrifying must this ROV be if you're a deep sea creature?
Slurp.
This is
Like,
hilarious.
it
Like,
really is just like,
Yeah.
yeah. It's an alien abduction.
it's got the temp probe and everything.
There's some kind of pink coloration on the rocks now. That wasn't
Yeah,
there
I
it's
before.
think
was it?
that's
starting to
the
do that.
CCA that they're mentioning.
What's CCA?
Crustose coralline algae. I always confuse it with CCR, but that's something totally different.
Related.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's starting to be enough light down here for some of
Right,
these
so
things.
then that's where the sea biscuits come in then, is
Yeah.
because this is where there's something to chomp on.
Uh-huh.
This is where all the bops are.
The last watch said that 250 was where it started to get really interesting.
Yeah,
Not too much.
that was what
further.
Val said. Yeah.
It's okay. We had a really interesting, 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was great. It
And
was
we
like
saw
an hour
Gary
up there.
as
It was
well.
pretty awesome. I was stoked.
Oh, I mean,
No, it was
didn't
over
go
an hour.
very
It was
far, but
over.
there was so much to see.
It was over an hour of intensity.
There's something
Okay.
all the way to the right and upper that I can't quite see what it is. It's like a spiky thing.
Spiky thing.
May just be rocks.
I don't see
I
it.
think it's rocks.
Yeah.
Okay. There certainly are plenty rocks.
See, there's a few of them, yeah.
10 more meters.
Yeah.
Bridge nav.
His channel's looking more and more like a salmon ladder.
Yeah, it is actually.
We'd like to move 10 meters, 065.
We're getting that, or into that time of the year. The salmon runs in the northwest there.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so
Okay.
excited. We have
Yeah.
such a good one near my house. It's quite stinky, but it's pretty awesome.
I'm
Sounds-
gonna miss it this year.
Oh my gosh, Chris.
When was the last time you
know.
had it?
It was in 2020 was the last time I
The
saw the
COVID
salmon
year.
run. Yeah.
Ooh, look at that urchin.
Did Palmyra close during COVID? Or
Yeah, they
This guy
didn't
might
do
be
any
like a
new hiring.
Histicidaris.
The poor people that were stuck there for like 7 months or something.
Go for zoom.
Going for zero.
like stuck, like could not leave even if they wanted?
Yeah.
That's rough. Although maybe worse places to
Very
be stuck.
pretty.
Yeah, that's true. I think the food got a little slim by the end of
Going
that,
wide.
though.
What was that, Megan?
It's a pencil urchin. It could, I don't think it's Histicidaris. But, again, we're getting almost out of my depth range.
What is your comfort range?
Like from 6,000 to like 300.
Okay, that's a big range, but we are now out of it.
Oh, that's cool.
Go for zoom.
Going for zoom.
What is this? Anemone. I think it's in the family Actiniidae. It's cool. It's
Okay, go wide.
Going wide.
awesome.
The current gave us
Yes.
a break for 5 seconds.
Thank you,
So that was
Corinne.
nice of it.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it.
Kind of cool to get that
Same.
entirely top-down angle. It's without.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's that steep.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that urchin that we saw is in this guide. Let's see if it'll load. I should have made those pictures smaller. What's the lumpy thing?
Oh, wild.
That's really weird looking.
Go for zoom.
Go for zoom.
Is it a cluster of things?
Is it a cluster of snails? What is it? Oh, I have no idea. It's a
I
little.
think there's some kind of
a
algae.
lot of little ones.
Could be like an urchin with some like really inflated spines. I don't know.
Okay.
No idea.
Go wide.
That's weird.
Like some kind of like underwater
That's
version of
very
a succulent plant.
Yeah.
It's like
I think it's an algae, but
Mm-hmm.
An algae?
yeah.
No, I don't think it's algae. It looks too bumpy. I'm thinking echinoderm.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Big vertical slab.
Yeah, it's steep.
It was pretty
Do
much
you mind if I
overhanging
switch
right
you
to
over to
our
USBL?
watch change.
Go for it.
Is that a coral on the right?
Ah, we're getting into coral country, I think.
I think we are.
Oh, here's a coral. Look at that.
Yep.
There's lots of them around the starboard side of this rock.
Oh, yeah. Looking
Yeah, this
upper.
is, I think we're just about getting into the zone that,
The good stuff zone.
The
Yeah.
good stuff zone, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, this rock has a lot of corals, little tiny
You can
ones.
go for zoom video.
Go for zoom.
I think I'm just going to drift by all this stuff
Mm-hmm.
and see what happens.
Is the current blowing you left to right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
would
it's
just
not
let
so
it.
strong. It's
No, but I would just let it just
Yeah, that's, I think that's a,
take a look at
might
stuff
be a
as we fly by.
plexaurid or, well, it's like octocoral for sure. Yeah.
What's this white thing at the
What's
top of the
this one
screen?
here? Oh, I guess there's another one here.
Yeah,
Can we
there's
zoom
the
on that one?
stylastrids. And
Oh,
then
okay.
look at the really orange
Yeah.
soft coral. It's like, it's a mushroom coral, but it's a
Hmm.
very interesting color. There's a few of them. And then there's some hard corals.
Do we have a move in or
No.
finishing a move or okay?
We are not moving.
Okay, great. Because I'm just sort of bopping.
Yeah, we can just pop.
Is that orange one a hard coral as well?
The,
What's
yeah, the
that one?
bright yellow
Yeah.
is a hard coral, and then the pink is the hydrocoral,
Mm-hmm.
and then the orange little mushrooms and the white little finger structures are soft corals.
Mm-hmm.
Here's an orange soft coral.
Yes. Anyway.
Oh, thanks.
So, Gabby, we're approaching the watch change. Is this a pretty healthy place to hang out? And
Yeah, it's a
Hand over?
totally fine place to hang out.
it just
yeah.
seems like when Santiago and Annette come in, they might want to just do something like loiter at this depth if it gets rich for DNA sampling or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty fun place to look at stuff.
yeah, exactly. So I think we can just hang out and keep wandering
Yeah,
around
there's
until we
not a
do the
lot of
handover.
current or anything.
Yeah.
The vehicle
So maybe just
pretty stable.
keep letting ourselves lateral across the face, as long as we're not too far out from.
Yeah, sounds good.
We're kind of center with Atalanta now, right? So it's.
Someone just commented, oh, just wait till a little bit above till the purple and royal blue stuff comes by. Save that for the next watch, yeah.
I think so. I think. Because once we start the ship moving again, if there's currents, then it'd be a shame to fly right past it while we're trying to like do the handover as well. We've seen a lot of good stuff this watch, so we shouldn't be greedy.
Gary
We saw
was
Gary.
fun.
Yep.
Gary the rockfish.
Gary remained pretty stoic through that whole
He
scrape
did.
and slurp.
He was just like, it's like, yeah, I've seen stuff before. It's funny, it's like this side of this feature is pretty like empty, right? We just lateral across hardly any distance and there's a whole bunch of coral in the same place.
Oh.
Oh, what are these guys? Oh, those are the soft corals, right?
Or anemones?
Anemones, I think. Yeah.
Closed up anemones.
This
Okay, well, let's
slab feature is really interesting, this flake.
Yeah.
It's very
it's
sharp.
like,
It's not eroded very much.
yeah, maybe we just keep moving up a little bit further.
Oh.
Here comes Santiago.
Oh my
Go for
gosh.
that.
He's wiggled his way out of his sleeping bag. Shaking out the broccoli from between his toenails.
Hey. Oh.
Right now we're in the middle of changing shift. So stand by for more.